or maybe scan whatever what are the machines, what are the equipments you're using, everything is designed and developed by the engineers only. So without engineering equipments, you know that it's not easy for the doctors to diagnose the diseases or whatever the things are there, right? So whatever the equipments the doctor is using, so those are also developed by engineers. So if you take in this image, so this is a stent. So stent, which is the doctor installing in the veins of a patient. So mostly even in India, if you say after 50 years, so above than 50 years citizens, almost half of the population in urban, more than 50% population in urban, and almost more than 10% population in rural India is having this kind of stents in their body. So this stent is developed by engineers only. So maybe if you see, stent is nothing but whenever any blockage of blood is happened in the veins, so at there they need to provide a kind of stent. A kind of stent is nothing but a kind of passage. So where blood, maybe you see in this image. So in this image, maybe, so you see the passage of blood is decreased. It's become smaller because of fat and other things that are accumulated in the veins. So it's small. It is shorted. So because of that, we need to have a extra passage to insert into the veins. So those are things as developed by the engineers. So and these engineering technologies used by the doctors to rectify or maybe to cure the patients. So these are the few applications of engineering. If you see anywhere, so everywhere engineering is required. So, but if you come to the scenario in India, so in this, if you talk about in 2020, so engineering as a career has attracted students in a big way. So already I told you, almost every year, so few 2 to 3 million people are aspiring. So minimum 1.5 to 2 million people are aspiring to be engineers. So in that, almost in India, we having 3,500 plus engineering colleges are there. So as per 2018-19 data. So in that, so most alarming situation is 60% of graduating students, especially engineering students, remain unemployed. So only 20 in that also. So in remaining 40% also, in that also only 20% of the students are getting employable. So out of 100 students, only 20% of the students are employable. So in the remaining 20%, out of whatever the 80%, in the 20% people are working. They're getting employment, so but they're not working in the directly whatever the field they're pursued. Instead of engineering, maybe they're working in some other area, some other things they're working. So employability, if you take in our India, only 20% engineers are employable. So existence of the problem like brain drains. So especially after person, because engineering is not a simple course. It is compared with other courses, it's a little bit difficult, but it's not like very heavy difficult course. Because in engineering, a engineer, whatever the engineer, whether it's a mechanical engineer, whether it's a computer science, whether it's civil or whatever the engineer, so in their 4-year span, so they used to pursue something about 30 to 40 different subjects. So in engineering, in every year is divided into the 2 semesters. Every semester they used to have 5 to 8 different subjects they study. So including practicals as well as the theory. So in that they used to say almost some 35 to 40 subjects they're studying in their 4 years of degree, 4 years of their engineering studies. So large in this after graduating, so large percentage of people are unemployable. So the people especially, if the people are not qualified and unemployable, so we can have to justification for them. But after qualification also, if the candidate or if the engineer is unemployed, that is a very, very alarming situation for the society, for the nation, as well as for the family also. So for pursuing the engineering, they will put every student as keeping lot of efforts, their hard work also they're putting. So after putting this much hard work of 4 years, if you're not finding a proper employability, so then this is a very tricky situation, very difficult situation is arising. So as a professors, as a philanthropist, we need to be look at this one. So even the universities, even the agencies, government agencies who's setting this syllabus, they need to think about and they need to prevent this kind of things to become. So in future, maybe you can see a huge number of engineers are there, but in that employability is maybe day by day it's decreasing. So this has to be improvised. This has to be changed. So how to do this? So how first we need to find how this is happened. So why this has happened? So we everybody know that we having a very renowned institutes are there like IITs and NITs, especially for engineering, right? So even this many institutes are there, but still our employability is very poor. So why this is happening? So if you want to go back to some history, so if you want to see, we are developed from last 70 years as a nation, as a country. India has developed a lot. So in that definitely there is no doubt in education sector as well as especially in engineering field, there is a huge contribution is there. So actually, if you take the most renowned institute in India, those IITs, Indian Institute of Technologies. Now in this 2020, we have almost 24 IITs are there. So these IITs were established in 1950. So actually, this behind establishment of huge hard work and huge study was involving in that study was led by NR Sarkar. So he was submitted a report in 1941 to, at that time, the British government, as well as in that our representation also there. So in that, after submitting in 47, so he was worked, and first Indian Institute of Technology was developed in. So now whatever the IIT Kharagpur is there, this is the oldest IIT among all the IITs in India. So IIT Kharagpur was established in 50, and it was completely full-fledged. It was developed in 1956, and it is declared as a institute of national importance. So after going through this, our first Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru, he is established IITs, not only one in Kharagpur, in every part of India. He want to establish this kind of institute similar to IIT Kharagpur. So, in 1956, after 1956, so almost every corner divided India into the four parts: south, west, east, and center. So there, south, west, south, north, west, and center, because already in east IIT Kharagpur is there. So every part is one IIT. So that is IIT Bombay, Madras, Kanpur, and Delhi. So like this, these four IITs came from 1950 to 1990 in between. So these four IITs are established. So later on, that in addition to IITs, there is more engineering colleges are required. So in national important engineering colleges, RECs are established. So they used to call as a regional engineering colleges. So these regional engineering colleges are established 2 to 3 in every part, means these parts of India. So, south 2, north 2, may come to west, because population is more in west. They established 3 RECs in 1959. So first REC was established in Warangal. So in United Andhra Pradesh at that time. Now it is in Telangana. So it was established in 1959. So regional autonomous colleges. So the universities near to them. So REC Warangal, if you take, it is affiliated to Kakatiya University. Similarly, colleges are come. So until 2006. So after that, Y2K issue was happened. So after that, lot of development is happening in engineering. So if you take in 2060, from 1980, 100 engineering college. In 2006, when it is coming, the engineering colleges are increased to 15 folds. So almost 1500 engineering colleges was there. So until 2004, 5, 6, so government having very stringent guidelines to give to permission or to affiliation to the engineering colleges. That's why whatever the colleges are there. So before this time, they're preferable to be a good colleges. But after this, after 2005, 6, when IT boom has happened, 2000, right? So in USA, in India, in other European countries, so there is a huge requirement of computers, computer programming. So in software, core engineering sectors like mechanical, civil, lot of automation is happened. So at that time, government is giving the permissions to lot of engineering colleges. So those engineering colleges within 10 years, so within 12 years, 2016 to 2018, you see the 1500 colleges become 3500. Means almost it is 3 times increased. But quality of colleges not improves that much. So today in this 2020, if you see, every year India producing almost 1.5 million engineers. So 1.5 million means almost nearly 15 lakhs, more than 15 lakhs engineers producing in India. The quality of education in these private colleges, which is established from 1980s, is unbalanced. I cannot say that it is very bad or very good. Some institutes are even better than the many government engineering colleges, and some having very worst. So some colleges don't have even proper faculties, proper facilities, proper infrastructure, but still, because of lot of other factors, they got the affiliation as well as the permission from the national AICT, UGC, and affiliated to the different universities. So in that particular part of region, if you take in other in JNTU, similarly in Karnataka, VTU. So different kind of universities are team. So one more thing is there. One thing, the quality of education or quality of infrastructure or faculties, maybe it's not proper in number. And second one is in this 2000 in 2010. So during that time, so what happened? So what happened that syllabus is not upgraded. So normally, if you take so now in this maybe in last 2 to 3 years, maybe syllabus is periodically upgrading. But previously, syllabus changes because there is a lot of development is happened in engineering field, but that same kind of things is not reflecting in academics. So those are the one of the things. Syllabus is not properly being updated. So that is the main thing. And so model whatever the AICT. Normally AICT is the body which is used to govern so all the technical institutes in India. So whatever the curriculum they are preparing. So these so model curriculum that is used by affiliated universities are come from AICT. So these affiliated whatever the AICT is given the syllabus that. So partially modified or partially changes by the university, and they need to offer the subjects. So in this, whatever the engineering college, 3,500 engineering colleges in India. So in that, hardly some 20% of the colleges only have the accreditation. So NBA and NAC accreditation. So actually, these are the accreditation is one of the so accreditation nothing but whenever the institutes are following one standard guidelines set by whether AICT or set by the UGC or set by any other institutes from the government, if they follow that guidelines, then only they're going to get this accreditation. So only 20% of the university in following this accreditation, and remaining institutes are still not following this accreditation. Few is trying now, so few institutes are going to get this accreditation. So still a lot of improvisation has to come in this colleges. And syllabus is changes for the long years. Normally, if you take syllabus may not be changed in every year. So syllabus normally change. Previously, if you take syllabus used to change by every 10 years, but now that is come to be 5 years. Every 5 years, syllabus is changed. Prescribing every alternate year. So every 2 years, they're changing the syllabus as per industrial requirements. So if you take the employability, so maybe this graph I've taken from MHRD, so Ministry of Human Research Development, that has become now Ministry of Education now. So from that, from their database, I've taken this. If you see in this, so whatever the good engineering colleges and the recently came engineering colleges, there you see there is a lot of differences there. Quality of employability. So within whatever the field you can take. So whether it's taken the computer science, IT roles, or maybe engineering roles, or non-technical roles, whatever the roles you can take. So this whatever the dark color columns you can see, those are those top 100 colleges in India. So which is established before 1980. So even after 1980, also some good colleges are there. So from that, whatever the best top 100 engineering colleges, so their quality of education is good. So quality of students also good. Quality of education. So even quality admission into these top 100 engineering colleges. So the students who's getting this other than top 100, so there maybe you can see the blue columns, their employability as well as their skill standards are comparatively very less. So this is not only a problem with the institutes or with the faculty, but it's a major problem. I feel it is in students. So students who's getting admissions in engineering, so they're not properly utilizing whatever the opportunity is come to you. So if you see the employability skills, so whatever how many percentage wise, if you take the students who is getting the job, it's very less. So less than 20%. So not so maybe if you take the core engineering, some 20% students are employable. But when you coming to be different screening processes, so hardly 17% of the students are getting jobs. So because computer science, because they're having a good number of scopes are there, so there may be almost some 22% of the students are placed. So in computer science field also, so even core engineering people are working in the software, computer science, IT sectors also. So altogether, if you take average in this, employability is coming to be 20% only. So this remaining 8% of the engineers, or maybe remaining 60% of, in that 80%, 20% of the engineers, they can get the job some other fields, and they're doing something. But remaining students who's not getting, for them, there is a huge loss is happening for the country. So loss of almost 2 million man days annually going to waste, because after completion of the graduation, after completion of BTech, the students supposed to work somewhere so that they can do some productive work. But those things are not happening. So because of that, almost 2 million man days. You see how much we are resource we are losing. So this is very good resource. So because in India is the youngest country, means if you take the population wise, almost 60% of Indian populations are very young. So our population is 1.3 billion. So 130 crores. In that 60% means nearly 75 crores. 750 million people are the youngsters, which is age under 25. So these students, actually, if you take in this, the 2 million man hours is losing. So that high productive human man who is there, their time is losing. So this is one of the factor where our country is not moving forward, not growing. So here, our youngsters, our students who's getting admissions in engineering, or even if you're not getting engineering, even in other field also. So whatever the proper way you need to be utilize your time. So what need to do? So how to eliminate these things? How to improvise these things? So how to make this to be better? So steps to make things to be better. These are the things up to now. I told you what is things is happening, which is leading our students or our engineers are unemployable. So now how we can rectify those things? What measures we need to take? So few things are there, which is maybe you can find everywhere. Most of your professors also will be suggesting to you. So most important thing is students' involvement is more essential. So all these things, resources, infrastructure, institute, all these things are coming secondary. Most important thing first is involvement of the student. So student has to involve in the academics properly. So gain good subject knowledge with maximum efforts. Normally, I used to see the students. So up to when they entering into the engineering, so maybe they try for the good engineering colleges, maybe in IITs or NITs or maybe reputed engineering colleges in the state center. So once you're entering into the engineering college, students will become relaxed. So their intention is, or maybe their parents are telling, or maybe their lecturers is in their junior colleges or in 10+2 used to tell them that they need to work for 2 hours. If you work for 2 hours, after that your life will be very easy and very fruitful. So it is only partially correct. It's not full-fledged correct, right? So after getting your joining in a good institute, or maybe you're joining in the engineering, so your actual challenge starts from there. So getting admission is only your partially success. But after getting admissions, what need to do? That is the more important. That those 4 years, so whatever your engineering life, that's why those time is called as a graduation. Those degrees, whatever the BE or BTech or whatever the degree you're taking, so those degrees is calling it as a graduation. Means those things are graduating you a successful person or unsuccessful person. Never be, all students has to remember, so life is never be easy. So whether in the student life, whether in the professional life, whether wherever you are going, so you cannot relax, right? So relaxation only come after your death. So die until you are there on the earth. So you need to work, whether hard work or smart work, that is depending upon you. So always we need to work it, right? Without working, we cannot survive. Even for liver, we need to take a breath. For breathing, we need to work, right? So similarly, whatever your profession, wherever you are there, whether in your college, whether in your career, whether in a company you are working, so everywhere you need to work hard. So you need to work hard and smart. Then only you're going to success in your life. So for that, so basic thing you need to start. If students are now the students who is listening this webinar, if they are in trying to get engineering admission maybe next year or after that, so prepare well for your engineering. That is more important. And people who is listening this webinar, who is already got the admission into admission in BTech and they're pursuing maybe their second year or third year, properly plan this time. So whatever your time is there, properly plan. And students who's already completed BTech, they completed their degrees, they got the degrees, they're trying for the employment. For them also, there is a good scope is there to get to refresh yourself in the subject. So most important thing, especially this slide is I'm talking about the students who's getting admission, who's entering in engineering. So in these 4 years engineering, gain good subject knowledge with maximum efforts. Professional values, you need to develop a professional values in you, as well as you need to become a compatible. So you have to be compatible with other engineering fields also. So if you're a computer science engineer, if you're a mechanical engineer, so in these engineerings you need to have interdisciplinary courses also there. A mechanical engineer used to study C programming, study basic electrical engineering, basic electronic engineering. So all these things are required for to become a good engineer. Similarly, a computer engineer used to study about a different kind of things are there. Even you need to aware about the workshop practice, right? The engineering mechanics you need to aware. So all these things is required to compatible in your professional life. So professional values you need to develop, as well as you need to become a compatible, and subject you need to learn with practical approach, because engineering is applications of in my first slide itself I told you it's a application of maths and science, or maths with blended with scientific principles. So you need to learn whatever the theoretical subjects you're learning. Most of the theoretical subjects used to have labs in you. So you need to learn the subject with practical approaches, with real-time problem solving. So all these things are required. So don't study like whatever you're done in your schooling. Just simply up and you are writing the exam and getting the marks. So that is may not work in your engineering. Maybe that will give you the degree, but in your future career when you're going, so these kind of things may not work. So your practical approach and real-time problems are essential for engineers. So participate in extracurriculum activities also. So in most of the colleges used to conduct some kind of technical festival, some kind of cultural activities, some kind of sports activities. So as to become a success, to become a good professional, you need to involve in each and everything. So not only in the studies, you need to participate in extracurriculum activities also. So improve your communication skills. This is always when you're coming to a final year. So normally your faculties used to tell you improve your communication skills. So start working on your communication skills from your first year itself, not for in the final year. So communication is nothing but whatever things you know, whatever things you're learning, this has to be conveyed to the other person. So that is called communication. Communication skills means not you're good in English. So you're speaking English very well. That is not mean the communication. That's only partially it is communication. But communication means whatever the things you're studying in your engineering, that has to communicate properly to the person, whether through your exam. So normally I've seen a lot of students are good in subject, but unfortunately they're not scoring good marks in their exams. So why? Because whatever the exams they're writing, so they're not communicating their knowledge properly to the examiner or maybe person who's correcting their paper. So those things also, communication is coming, all these things. Communication means you're writing, you're speaking, you're listening. So everything is coming communication. So you need to improve as an engineer, you need to improve your communication also. This is also part of your professional life. So build your professional and social network also. So normally I've seen, so this in this 2020, so students may not have very much mingle with other than their batch students. So even if you take in one section, one class, we used to have multiple sections. So one section student is familiar with that section student only. So those things may not work. So you need to develop your network, social as well as the professional network you need to develop. So every student has to have a Facebook account nowadays. So everybody having active in Insta. You having a lot of followers and you also following a lot of people on that. But unfortunately, when you coming to personal level, so you having very less network is there. So you need to develop network also. So network also essential for professional development. That's why whatever the extracurriculum activities, point number 4. So if you participate extracurriculum activities, these things will help you to improving your communications as well as build your professional and social network. So students, please active on this. Develop your network from your degree itself. Don't start building your network after joining in a college. So develop your hobbies and passions. I think these things also is important. So whatever your hobby is there, so whatever your ideas, whatever your passions are there, so you need to work on the passion also. You need to take some time. So maybe you having a weekend, so you having a vacations are coming. So in that time, maybe you can work on your hobbies and develop your hobbies. So those things actually, when you're working in the profession, passions will make you act as a stress busters. So maybe in work tomorrow, you're working in a software company or maybe to working in an industry. So definitely you will be have a lot of pressures. So because deadlines are there, project completion has to do. So all these things you need to do. So you used to have a lot of pressure in that. So these kind of, you have some hobbies. Maybe like you having a hobby of painting, or maybe you having a hobby of music. So those kind of things will remove your stress during your career. So during your pressure times. So these things will help you. So these kind of things also you need to develop. So then coming to be, so now even the government agencies like AICT also working very hard to improvise the things. So engineering students get involved in summer internship program. So practical knowledge is also important. Whatever the point I told you. So for that, internship is one of the your practical skills and practical knowledge. So AICT is providing industry exposure as well as the summer internship to almost all the students, which is recognized by AICT. So almost 75% of the students, means out of 15 lakhs, 1.5 million, 75% of the vacancies or opportunities are there to do the internship. And remaining 25% also they're working. So in very soon they're going to make it 100% 100% internship maybe that they can provide in your span of 4 years during your engineering. So internships, so training is essential. Internship and training are the vital part of engineering courses. So the training and internships are offered by various companies. Nowadays, most of the companies are offering the internship. So just yesterday, one of my student in mechanical engineering student, he got an internship in one of the government organizations in Iowa. Internships is essential. So this make it as a compulsory. So normally I used to make internship as one of the compulsory thing to the students, especially during summer vacations. So I ask students, so during summer vacations, at least 4 weeks of internship they need to do. So if they have the contacts in industry, so students can directly approach to them and they can get. If they not have, so we are providing. So as a management, as a college faculties professors, so we used to provide the internship to the students. So this faculties professors who is listening, please encourage your students to do the internship in industries. Students to learn about the industries during this internship period. So students must understand the advantages and needs of training and internship during the summer or winter. So normally in summer as well as the winter, students used to get few weeks of vacation they used to get. In winter, maybe after their semester break, there may be 1 week to 3 weeks break will be there. And in summer, maybe have. So these time they may be utilized to do some kind of internship. So during the academic time when classwork is going on, it is a little bit difficult for the students to go during this summer and winter breaks, whatever that vacations they're getting. So that vacation maybe they can third for them better opportunity to get exposed in industry. So especially after completion of third year and going into the final year. So before going to the final year, as per the AICT guidelines and as per the university norms, there is a industrial oriented mini projects or internships are there. So students has to do really seriously has to do this internship. So 8 weeks normally in summer they used to have 8 weeks break. So in that 8 weeks, at least they need to utilize 3 to 4 weeks to work in anywhere. So any industry, whether in a service center or wherever the possible. So they need to go and they need to expose themselves to that particular working environment, and they need to learn from them. So the colleges are also take responsibility of students to send these students to the different industries. So if college is approached to the industry, so industry will give very, very positive response instead of directly student if they approach. So that's why colleges also has to take some responsibility to provide some kind of internship or maybe summer training to the students. These negligence made the student to cause their career. So because after 4 years, when you're going for searching the exposure in form of internships or in the form of a projects, if you're having some exposure to the industry, that will be definitely fetch you a better career. So proper career awareness also is required. So India's engineering courses has been overrated as a mindset is of engineering earning more than other professionals. Now this mindset is there. Most of the people who that's why in huge demand, because people are thinking engineers are earning a huge salaries. So partially it is correct. So in that whatever the huge salaries are there, every student in the class may not get. So the top students of top 10% of the students are getting very good salaries. So other students are getting the salaries which is getting some proper reasonable salaries they're going to get. So if want to get a proper salaries or good salaries, they need to follow whatever the things I mentioned. So these things to have a practical exposure, then definitely you're going to get a very good jobs in good organization with very good pay packages. So it's well-known fact that engineering courses are reputed to be but it's a very difficult courses also. So it need this in 4 years, you need to put lot of hard work. So the number of engineers that we produce is greater than the actual demand of engineers. So whatever the requirement is there in India, so more than that engineers we are producing in India. So that you see there is always huge supply is there. So for one job, we used to have 3 to 4 engineers are there. So now if you see, so maybe coming years, maybe this demands maybe increases. So the supply maybe increases and job demand will be is going to be very high. Maybe not only 3 4. So out of 10 engineers, maybe only one job may be there. So if students are who's good in their subjects, who having proper practical exposure, so out of the 10 students who is having them, so those people is only going to get the job. That's why student has to realize these things and need to do it, plan their career properly, must aware about national and international conditions in the particular domain. So now after globalization, even international whatever things are happening, that also affecting in our country, as well as whatever things is happening in our country, that is affecting other countries also. So that's why the students has to aware about in their domain. So, for example, if a computer science student is there, and is happening in the computer science, and what kind of different scenarios is occurring. So, in that they need to be always has to be gain that extra knowledge, whatever the advanced knowledge is that they always try to gain it. So, for this gaining, there is a lot of schemes are there, lot of portals are there. So, National Scheme of Apprenticeship Training, this is provided by AICT and UGC, and support of education. So, education online videos is available and NPTEL portal. You can utilize those things, and also there is a AICT and other things are providing some kind of courses. So, Indian National Digital Library in engineering courses are available like Swayam. So these kind of courses, they used to have some lectures are available, recorded lectures, some lab lectures also available. So maybe students can utilize those things to bridge this gap. So whatever the advanced courses are coming, so in that courses something is not, if you feel something is not there in your career, in your curriculum, so maybe here you can find this, whether it's NPTEL, when this Index AICTs or in the digital library. So here you can find those courses, you can register and you can get that knowledge in that from that particular subject. And also establish an excellence in your subject. You need to try to be utilize maximum resources during your engineering. So it's coming to be after engineering. So what is the scope for after engineering? I think almost some 45 minutes are over. So maybe I can rush up from here. So what is the scope for engineering after completion of your graduation? So once you're completed a graduation, there is a number of opportunities are there. So most of the engineering students after completion, they will always target for the jobs. So if almost 70 to 75% of the students are always targeting for the jobs. Jobs maybe whatever the jobs, that is maybe government job or maybe private jobs or MNCs. So wherever the things are there, they will try for the job. So for this job, so maybe you have you can get the jobs whether on campus or maybe off campus. So normally, if your college is good, it has to following proper guidelines. Maybe in that case, companies are interested to come to your campus and recruit the students from the campus itself. So that is a good opportunity recently, in recent years. So a lot of companies are approaching to the colleges, to the college faculties to recruit the students from the colleges. So this is one of the opportunity. Maybe students has to plan for their placements. So from your second year itself, so plan properly so that whatever the companies are coming to your college, maybe you can get the place. So normally campus placement student companies used to come during your final year. So irrespective of your semester, sometimes some companies will come in first semester, sometimes few companies coming in the second semester. Even sometimes most of the companies used to come early as possible in final year. Normally, if you take in the reputed institutes like IITs or NITs, so placement program used to start fourth year, first semester in starting of the semester itself. So maybe somewhere about July, August, September. So these months are considered as a placement months actually in these institutes. So normally companies will come, so recruit the students based upon their up to third year performance itself. They will recruit the students. They will conduct some kind of screening tests, some kind of interviews they will conduct. If the students are doing well in that, so they will give you the offer letter. So you can join those companies after completion of your degree. Maybe it will take 1 year. So for example, if a company coming to the campus in the month of June or July, so in July itself, they'll select the students and they give the offer letter to the students to join next year in the month of May or maybe in the month of June after your final exams. So means before completion of your exam itself, you're going to get a job offer. That is a very good sign for the students. So that is campus placement. Even some students, if you're not getting the campus placement, if some colleges are not providing proper campus placements. So normally nowadays, most of the colleges are providing the campus placement. If students are not like, if any job or any campus placement, can try in off campus also after completion of BTech. So if you're having a proper subject knowledge, if you're having properly prepared, then even after off campus also you can try. So even not only off campus, private jobs, maybe you can get the government jobs also. So government jobs, for government jobs, one of the mandatory requirement now is GATE exam. So graduate aptitude test for engineers. This is mandatory. But some government companies, PSUs, public sector units, approaching to the reputed institutes, especially for IITs and NITs. So there's approaching, and through campus placement, they used to recruit their engineers from the campus directly. So if the companies are going to the campus placement, so for their GATE requirement is not there. But other institute, most of these things is happening only in IITs and some reputed NITs, not in any other colleges. So even if you take government central university colleges or any colleges, so normally PSUs are government. Case students, what you used to do, they used to write the GATE. So if you qualify the GATE, maybe they're eligible for their whatever the processing of recruitment. So in addition to the jobs, normally some students will prefer to go for higher studies also. So this higher study, there are two reasons are there to go for higher study. One is if students are like a particular subject very much and they want to gain extra knowledge or extra skills in that, then he can go for higher study. If not, if he is not like the subject, but unfortunately he is not finding a suitable job or suitable employment, whatever the things are there, if you not find, then to increase his skill set, to increase his knowledge, he need to go for higher studies. So if you are going for these two reasons for the higher studies, it is very good. If you are having other than these two, any other reason is there in the to pursuing higher studies, so those reasons are useless. So in higher studies also we having higher studies you can gain in India, as well as you can get higher studies in foreign also. To getting admission into Indian institutes, higher reputed institute like IITs, NITs. So again there is a GATE is mandatory for the students. If you qualify GATE, then only they can eligible to get admission in these reputed institutes like IITs, NITs, even triple ITs. So all these institutes is taking GATE as a mandatory requirement. So if it is the international universities, so students used to pursue some exams like IELTS, TOEFL, GRE, PET. So these kind of exams they used to pursue. So actually these exams are nothing but it has to test the English skill. So all these exams, any one exam is sufficient. So all the 4 exams is not required for the students. So students can go for IELTS, otherwise TOEFL, otherwise PET, any one exam is sufficient. All these 3 exams are for English skill. They'll test only English skill. Our India is considering as a non-English speaking country. So if you want to get admission in any foreign university in USA or in Canada, in Australia, in Europe, anywhere, you need to show your skills in English. So normally whatever the degree offered by our universities, they having a accepted by the university, but whatever the language is there, so these language is not accepted. For that they need to go through these exams. So actually these exams, whether it's a TOEFL, GRE, IELTS exams are there, these exams are conducted by those country agencies. Like for example, if you take IELTS, so these exams is conducted by Cambridge University. So Cambridge University from UK. So whatever the exam you can take GRE, you can take TOEFL, you take PET, whatever the exam is there. So all these exams are conducted by those agencies. So those agencies exam in English only valid in those reputed universities in this foreign country, whatever I mentioned to you. For that you need this exam. So this exam is nothing, only it is testing your English, nothing else is there. So even if you're a mechanical engineer, or even if you're a computer science engineer, even if you're having not engineer, even you're having other professional degree also, so you need to require to qualify at least one of this exam. So in addition to these higher studies, you having one more option is there. So you can pursue in management degrees also. So for you want to go for managerial position in the industries or in the any organizations, you need to have an MBA. So MBA is in a good reputed institute like IIM, Indian Institute of Management. So for this, you need to write CAT exam. So maybe students can prepare for the CAT exam and they can go for higher studies in management. And also some students will prefer to go for civil services like IAS, IPS. So that are also considering as a higher studies only. So in that also you having some kind of exams are there. You need to clear that exam. You need to go through for some training. So after that only you are eligible to join the job. So in addition to these things, so one more, I think in my opinion, the best option in this scenario is you start your own business. You start your own startups. or you become an entrepreneur. So this is one of the good options, especially in this pandemic situation. So once you started own business, maybe you can go for higher studies, or after going for higher studies also you can start your own business. So not only this one, even after getting the job, so few years of experience you will get in your job, and based upon your skill set, whatever you are gaining during your job, so based upon that also you can start your own startup. So maybe I think time is coming to end. I'm not going to go in depth much. So in this previous case, GATE is common for even for higher studies as well as for the job. That's why just I will take a few minutes on GATE. So GATE is nothing but Graduate Aptitude Test for Engineers. So normally for GATE, notification used to come in the month of August, September every year, and exam will be conducted in the month of February, 1st and 2nd, Saturday, Sunday. So from next year, coming year to 2021, so even this exam is conducted on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So 1st and 2nd Friday, Saturday, Sunday of the February. So this exam will be conducted. This exam will be conducted in your own city. So not need to travel anywhere. So in your city. So this is actually this is a computer-based test is there. You need to go to the exam center and you need to answer your question on computer. Like your students who is first year, if it's a maybe in MCET exam also similar kind of things that they wrote. So similar kind of pattern is there. So, but syllabus will be engineering syllabus will be there. So this GATE exam open the job opportunities in central government as well as the reputed public sector units in India, and also higher studies in reputed institutes like IITs, NITs, and also central universities as well as the state universities. So these GATE is one of the mandatory criteria. So if you get admission through GATE in your masters in MTech or ME, so going to get a fellowship from the MHRD. Almost the fellowship will coming to be 12,600 rupees per month in today's scenario. Maybe it's going to increase in next year. So valid for the higher studies. Not only this GATE is not only valid in India, even sometimes some other universities, foreign universities, especially in Asian countries like UAE, Singapore, Mauritius, even Ethiopia, SAARC countries, having recognized this GATE score. So innovations. So as I told you, the entrepreneurship is important. So for you, if you want to go for the entrepreneurship, so your mindset or your approach has to be changed during your course time itself. So you need to focus more on innovations. You need to do multidisciplinary projects during your second year, third year, and fourth year. Whatever the projects are there, you need to pursue proper projects, and maybe you can get some exposure into from that startups. So maybe most of the colleges nowadays having the incubation center. So students may actively participate in incubation activities, which is performing in the college. So strengthening their not only theoretical knowledge, even they can strengthening their practical knowledge as well as especially for the problem solving skills. So these are the few innovations in engineering. So automobile are innovated from last 50, 60 years back, and biomechanical engineering are very much booming from last 30 years. And there is a huge requirement is there in energy sectors, especially after a few years, because whatever the energy we have, the fuels, that those energies are coming from hydrocarbons. So these hydrocarbons are depleting. So maybe after 10 to 20 years, maybe whatever the hydrocarbons we're using, whether it is a petroleum products, whether it is a coal, maybe even the uranium, uranium, whatever is the deploys are there, that's going to vanish. So after that, we need to depend upon the natural resources like solar energy, like wind energy. So students have engineers having very good opportunities to do new things to start new startups in this scenario. Similarly, if you take nowadays, so man-made islands also there. So normally, whatever the islands are there, these islands are the natural islands. But recent development, so human is developing a man-made islands. Maybe you can take the Palm Island in Dubai. So that is man-made island. These are the new development, engineering development. Similarly, human is sending their presence into the different planets. So recently, NASA had sent a rover onto the Mars. Even India also tried to send a rover on Moon in Chandrayaan 2. But unfortunately, that was not completely successful. But still, the people are trying. Maybe in future, they may send. So, but NASA is always used to send the rovers to explore the things in other planets. And also artificial intelligence. So there is a lot of potential is there in artificial intelligence. So these artificial intelligence is coming in every field of engineering as well as in non-engineering fields also it is coming. Even a mechanical devices, a civil construction equipment, even electrical equipment is coming with artificial intelligence in future. So there is a huge scope is there in these area. So startups, so using this, whatever the innovations are there, you can start your own startups. So new innovating ideas and whatever the projects you've done. So those projects maybe you can consider for start a new startup. So if for starting, most important thing is there, you need to have a risk taking ability. So accepting the challenges. So whatever the new things are there, that you need to accept the challenge and you need to give a solutions to that one. And it's required very much hard work is required. So it's not like that your job, you're going to work from 9 to 5 and finally after end of the month, you're going to get the salary. It's not like that. Startup means you are going to give the solution to the existing problem. So you need proper hard work is required. So you need to have a patience. So every time when you're trying, targeting for a solution, so you may not be success always. So sometimes failures also may come. So when failures has come, you need to be patient. You need to try the things with a differently. So at the end of the day, definitely you're going to get the success. If your work is properly doing, so definitely you're going to get the success. So investment of time is also very important in startups. So in addition to time, you need to invest the money also. So money maybe there is a lot of sources are available nowadays. So government also giving the funding for startups through Startup India, to Stand Up India. A lot of other schemes are there. From that also you can get the funding. If you want to have entering into the entrepreneurship and startup, so you need to have a family support. So these things are required. And then coming to the last, I think this is my last slide. So with this, I'm just winding up. This is one of the important mission in belonging from ISRO. So this was in Chandrayaan 1. So Chandrayaan 1 launched in 2008. So almost 12 years before. So in this, most of the component whichever is there, mostly it is indigenously developed in India. So even few startups from Bangalore, few startups from Chennai, even few startups from Hyderabad also having contribution in this Chandrayaan. So if students has to have the startup, they need to go for entrepreneurship. Definitely government also supporting, not only giving the funding, even government is providing the opportunity for your products. So this is Chandrayaan 1 as well as Chandrayaan 2 is one of the example in front of you. So whatever the components used in Chandrayaan 1, so few components are developed by the students as well as a few developed by the startups. So actually this was one of the mission. I was a part of this mission during my tenure in ISRO. So with this, just I'll stop this webinar. I think almost I've taken more than 60 minutes, right? So almost 60 minutes it is there. So I'll just concluding this webinar, this presentation. So I wish the participant as well as the students all the best, and I wish a bright career for you. So these are my details. Maybe I think initially I have not given. So this is my WhatsApp number. If anybody want any kind of suggestions or any kind of questions anytime, maybe you can WhatsApp to me. So this is the same phone number also there, but you can avoid to call me. Instead of calling, better if you are giving a message. So I will reply to you. So based upon our availability with you. And this is my email address. So drsmh.prof@gmail.com. If you want anytime, maybe you can write to me. So I will whenever get the time, I will respond to you. And also this is one of the Telegram group is there, which is specially developed for the students. It is for the engineering studies. The name of this group is engineering studies. If students having Telegram, so nowadays Telegram has become very popular. It is overtaking WhatsApp. So because in Telegram, we don't have any restriction for number of peoples or number of members. So this is one of the group in the Telegram. There is one of the group is there in engineering studies. So this is a typical link is there below this. So even if you're going in Telegram, you're typing this group name, you can get the group and you can join in the group. And this is my YouTube channel. If your students want any kind of clarification are there. So I used to keep some of the videos or sometimes some of the information on this YouTube channel. So maybe people can visit this channel and they can listen whatever the information they want. So with this, just I'm stopping this today's webinar. If anybody have any question, winding up, maybe I'll really appreciate the initiative of this webinar taken by Kerim. So really, you're doing wonderful things, educating the students as well as the people who is completed engineering as well as in any field. So really, you're doing good, and I appreciate your efforts. And also, I thanks to my college, which is giving permit me to take this webinar in open to all. So I am affiliated to NSAK CET. Maybe if you want, you can visit our college website also. So nsakcet.ac.in. So for any information. So if anybody having any questions, please ask me. I try to answer your questions.